In Germany, vaccinations could become mandatory. A draft law, which has the support of incoming Chancellor Olaf Scholz, will be submitted to the Bundestag. If passed, compulsory jabs could begin in February. Just over 68% of Germans are vaccinated, well below the national target of 75%. Restrictions have been tightened on unvaccinated people.
We will reserve access to cultural and recreational facilities and events throughout Germany, regardless of the incidence, only to those who have been vaccinated and cured. It is also possible to do an additional test for those with a complete vaccination plan.
We go now to our reporter Kate Brady, who's live for us in Berlin. So, Kate, Germany is following Austria, proposing these mandatory COVID vaccines, subject, of course, to a parliamentary vote. How is all of this being received?
Well, this actually falls in line with public opinion right now. We've seen that jump some 20 percentage points since August, from about 39% to about 57, 56% now in favour of mandatory vaccines here in Germany. And it seems, just from having spoken to people, especially here in Berlin, that patience is wearing thin the longer that people who are fully vaccinated, many people already lining up in the December temperatures to go and get a booster shot as well now, are just no longer want to try and have to follow these rules, because they've done everything they can to try and protect themselves and others. They see this as negligence, is what some people have said to me, at least on behalf of some of the 12 million people who have not yet decided to be vaccinated. But on top of the likelihood of a mandatory vaccination here in Germany, Angela Merkel also pointed out this evening that the second vaccination for people who had 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccination, of course for Johnson & Johnson that will have just been 1, she was saying that that would actually only be valid for 9 months, that second shot. And that is really a call for people to go and get a booster shot right now, which has been available for some weeks here in Germany.
Now, Kate, you mentioned also that those who are unvaccinated, now further restrictions, further measures are coming into place in Germany, of course, for those who are unvaccinated, and pretty much they're not going to be allowed into non-essential shops and public spaces. How and when do these restrictions actually kick into gear?
So we're expecting them to kick in around the 13th or 14th of December because of some recent changes to the infection protection law, as they call it here in Germany. There's a few tweaks that need to be made and passed through Parliament. So it's probably going to be just over a week from now. But of course, as we've heard from state premiers time and time again over the last few months as well, they will be encouraging people to try and follow these new rules wherever possible. And of course, it is at the discretion of small retailers, for example, as well. Even just here in Berlin, many of them were already trying to follow the so-called 2G rule, where they demand proof of vaccination or that you're recently recovered. Some places here in Berlin were demanding that before it even became a rule. But as you say, a lot of new measures that really are targeting the unvaccinated. They'll only be so in a gathering, for example, you'll only be able to of unvaccinated or people who can't prove that they've recently recovered. They'll only be able to be one household, and then a maximum of 2 other people from one other household as well, which is miles away from what's allowed for vaccinated and recovered people right now. But otherwise, in the coming weeks, if you're unvaccinated, there's not really going to be very much to do here in Germany apart from go to the drugstore or go to the supermarket. All cultural leisure facilities, you're going to have to prove that you're either vaccinated or fully recovered to get in.